Hello and welcome to week 3 of Breakfast Time Vocab. So this week we are moving on to our new theme of gardening and gardening related vocabulary. So just a reminder, what we're going to do over these next two videos is teach you 10 new words that relate to this idea of being outside, being in the garden, and essentially vocab that you're going to maybe come across in some comprehension texts, but also words that you can use in your own creative writing as well. So let's dive into the first word. Okay, so the first word we're going to look at is an adjective that you might have heard of before, and the adjective is verdant. So this is a great word to use as an alternative to the word green. So when we're describing nature and things in the garden, generally a lot of the main primary colour that we see in there is green, but we don't want to keep repeating that over and over again. So when you describe something as being verdant, it's thinking of it being almost like lush and like almost you imagine like in the middle of summer when everything's in full bloom. It's like those really lovely deep rich green colours. So an example of how you could use it in a sentence would be, the verdant meadows in springtime are a sight to behold. So that's a good example there of like creating this imagery, as I say, of like lush green fields all around you in the countryside. So word number 2 is now a verb, and this verb is to cultivate. So cultivate, we put this word in here because again, it's another great alternative to saying things like grew or prepared. So when somebody cultivates the land, what they're doing is they're like prepping it and preparing it to normally grow crops. Generally as well, they're also like improving the quality of the soil just to help those kind of like nutrients and things like that. So a way that you could use it in a sentence would be something along these lines. Farmers diligently cultivate their field to ensure a successful harvest. So there they're talking about how they're going to make all the soil better, and then that's going to help all the plants to grow. And then when it comes to harvest time, they'll have a big crop that they can pick from. So the third word is a noun, and this word is arboretum. So we put this in here because we thought it's a little bit alternative and a little bit different, and a great word to use if you're maybe trying to show off a bit of vocabulary in your writing. So an arboretum is essentially a place where trees are grown in almost like a bit of a controlled environment, and normally for the purposes of like one for beauty but also for like research and things like that. So if we were going to use it in a sentence, we would say something like, the city's arboretum is for everyone to admire. So this idea that it's essentially this space where like things are purposefully bred for like educational, scientific reasons, but also like ornamental because they're pretty and nice to look at. The fourth word we're going to look at is now an adverb. So this one is abundantly. So if something grows in abundance, it means there's a lot of it, almost like it's very successful, it's like flourishing. So we want to use it for this practice as an adverb, so for something to do like to grow abundantly. So if I wanted to use it in a sentence, I would say something like, the orchard abundantly produced a wide variety of apples and pears this season. So it's this idea that all of the trees were producing fruit, there was a lot of it, maybe there was almost too much of it. Okay, and the last word for us for this video, for number 5, is the adjective serene. So this is more for kind of describing like the setting, like the tranquility, the calmness of maybe being outside in nature or being in your garden. So you could say something like, the serene garden provided the perfect spot for some meditation. So it's this idea that when you're there, you're feeling like very calm, very relaxed, very tranquil. So well done. Good job for having a go at all those words. Don't forget, if you don't remember any of them or you're not sure about the meanings, grab a pen and paper, write them down, write down your own sentences. And of course, every week we want to see your sentences and get you to practice using them. So you can head to the comments, have a go, try and use as many of these words in one sentence as you can. That's a great way to practice it. Every week, we're going to pick a winner and drop you a message of a prize for putting in all this effort and practicing all this vocabulary. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on Wednesday for the next video for part 2.